Hi kids, it's Mrs. Meyer again, and today I'm going to share a book with you called Cooty-Doo. It's by Stephen Cosgrove, and this was Miss Carla's son's favorite book when they were young, so I am having my two sons, Teddy and Max, share the book today. All right, so here is Cooty-Doo. As you lay on a cool spring day in a warm and sunny place, don't look up into the skies. Instead, look down and squint your eyes. Squint your eyes so very tight, and if you look with all your might, you will find the land of more than small. For in this land live bugs, that's all. The streets of Bugville were always empty in the early morning dawn. It was a time when all the streets were damp and there was no sound save the occasional yip or yap from some bug's pet bark bug, or the creeping of the clover tree. All quiet, no one awake except a solitary figure driving a ramshackle, clanking wagon from house to house, picking up the garbage placed outside the night before. Before the bugs of Bugville even thought of crawling under their warm dandelion down quilts, the garbage wagon would make its way south out of town a mile or two to a place where very few bugs went, let alone lived. The wisps of mist dipped and danced around the strange and menacing piles of rubber tires here, tin cans there, garbage everywhere, for you see, this was the Bugville dump. It was here that Litterbug and his family lived. They were no different from other bugs who lived in Bugville, except that they did a job no one else wanted to do, but that had to be done just the same. In the early mornings gloom, Litterbug would drive his wagon on his appointed rounds to pick up the refuse that had been thrown away. The Litterbug family wasn't large. It consisted of Old Man Litterbug, his wife Letty, and their son Cooty-doo, who lived in a small house at the edge of the dump so that Old Man Litterbug could be close to his work. Because they lived near the dump, which was a far fly from town, Cooty-doo had to walk a long way to Buttonwood School. He could have ridden with his father, but Cooty was ashamed of what his dad did and would rather walk than be seen in the garbage wagon. So every morning he got up at the crack of dawn and sneaked into town so the other bugs wouldn't know where he lived. At school, none of the other student bugs knew what Cooty-doo's dad did for a living. If anyone ever asked, Cooty would mumble this or that. Usually, he avoided the question. One day, on the playground, the garbage wagon slowly rolled by, and all the bugs laughed and chanted, "Garbage and junk, stink and stunk. Litterbug smells like a dirty old skunk." The wagon creaked by the playground. Litterbug, with a tear in his eye, pretended to ignore the shouts. Sad to say, right in the middle of the gaggle and giggling kids was Cooty-doo, chanting louder than all the rest. With the wagon gone and recess over, the bug kids filed back into the school. "Hey, Cooty, what did you say your dad did?" Glance shouted out, he's a Cooty sweated out an answer. "He owns his own business, a big business, making stuff." The other bugs became interested. Snug asked, "What kind of stuff?" Fortunately, Cootie was saved by the class bell. As it rang, he muttered, "Really neat stuff." Later, just as the school bell rang and the end of the class day and all the bugs escaped to home and play, the garbage wagon came creeping by again. To Cootie's horror, his father stopped the wagon and asked his son if he wanted a ride. "Who, me?" Cootie asked. "Are you talking to me?" "Yes, Cootie, I'm talking to you. Do you want to ride home or would you rather walk with your friends?" Cooty-doo was so embarrassed that he ran as fast as his little bug legs would carry him into the clover forest. He ran and ran until he just ran out of breath and fell sobbing into a pile of moss in a clearing. He lay there and cried until a voice broke his reverie. Hey up, what seems to be the problem, little bug?" Cootie wiped a blurry tear from his eye and looked around. There stood his dad. With hands between his knees, Cooty-doo told his dad the whole story. He even told him that he chanted the Junk Man song with the other bugs in the playground. "You see, Dad, I wanted to be proud of you, but you're just the garbage man." With that, he once again broke into tears. Old Man Litterbug put his arm around his son and said, "I could do something else. I could be a butcher or a baker or a lamplight maker, but I like what I do, and what I do doesn't make me any better or any worse than I already am." Then the two of them talked and they walked into the evening's hush. Litterbug taught Cooty-doo that no matter what you do in life, there's always something better, and no matter what any bug does, there will always be some bug who will make fun and not understand. The very next day at school, when the bugs were at recess and the garbage wagon came rolling by, Cooty-doo waved proudly at his dad as the other kids chanted their silly chant. The other bugs looked on in disbelief as Cooty-doo, with his head held high and with a smile wider than wide, said, "That's my old man, best darn garbage man in the whole world." If your father's a baker or just a garbage man, true, think of this little story of a bug named Cooty-doo. All right, thank you. Kids, can you say bye?